Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the School District of Springfield Township Board of School Directors Interim Board Meeting, May 3rd, 2016. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the mission statement, Ms. Nelson.
The mission of the School District of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high-achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Chapman. Here. Ms. Casalis. Mr. Lapidus. Here. Ms. Nelson.
Here.
Mr. Rayer. Ms. Sarsfield.
Here.
Dr. Taratuski.
Here.
Mr. Taylor. Mrs. Lipinski.
Here. Announcements. The board, at its discretion, may videotape all or any portion of public board meetings subject to the limitations set forth in Policy 006.2, Broadcasting of Meetings. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following the board meeting. I do have someone signed up to give public comment on, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. This would be the public comment time for agenda items, which we have no one signed up. Okay. So we will get to this in a few minutes. Reports and committees. We are not going to be having the property committee report tonight, so we're going to move on to the finance committee report. Walter Lapidus.
Thank you. I was actually hoping for a bigger span between the beautifully read mission statement and my monotone delivery of the riveting finance committee meeting, which we held on Thursday, April 28th. Oh, thank you, Ms. Casillas, for that intro. Okay. So we discussed a couple of things at the meeting. One was the Commonwealth budget. Apparently, we're getting, I guess, a little more money from the state than we were budgeting, which is great. We also talked about our school budget. The proposed budget resulted in a 2.4% suggested tax increase, and the committee requested to take a look at that to see if the tax increase could be held to less than 2%. So I think that may be a possibility, which would be a wonderful thing. We were also talking about the refinancing opportunity for the bond series from 2011 that could produce upwards of $300,000 or so in savings for us. And finally, we talked about transferring some money from, what is it called? I'm sorry, the reserve fund balance to designated. And we really didn't have many outsiders present, even though it's a public meeting and everyone's welcome. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Okay, moving on to the administrative report, Dr. Nancy Hacker.
Thank you. I just have two short announcements. One is that the principals have e-blasted out a copy of a food service survey to all of our parents, asking them about their children's experiences in our school cafeterias, their comments about the food that is being served, the cafeteria experience, and so forth. So we're soliciting commentary. This is the year that we are going to be renewing our food service contract, so we thought it would be beneficial to be able to give information to our food service vendor in order to be able to provide them with good feedback from our parent population. Once we see what we get back, we'll determine whether or not we also need to survey students. But we want to take this first step, at least at this time, and see what the parents are reporting back to us. So we're looking forward to getting those results back. I believe that the e-blast reminds parents to please fill the surveys out by May 13th. That would be beneficial for us in terms of gathering and collating that feedback on those surveys. The other thing I wanted to announce, and this is a follow-up to a request that Dr. Taratusky had made at the last board meeting about the equity presentations that I had made to the staff members. I'm going to be doing a public presentation of that through our Key Communicators Council. It's scheduled for Wednesday evening, May 25th. Right before the Memorial Day weekend, but I scheduled it purposely for Wednesday, figuring we still have a couple days left in the week. So that is open to the public. It will be at the middle school. Anyone is welcome to attend, and certainly board members are welcome to attend as well. And I think you'll find that the data and the statistics that we have in terms of the changing demographics of our community is really very compelling and very interesting. And I know that the presentations were received very well by the staff members, and there was some eye-opening that took place, and I think they were very happy to see the information that we had. So it will begin at 6:30. So again, reminders will be going out via e-blast to parents, but anyone in the community obviously is welcome to attend.
Where's that from?
Middle school library.
Dr. Hacker, I'm sorry. The food services contract, are we breaking even or making a profit, or are we still kind of subsidizing that?
We are not making a profit
Okay.
in total. That's correct.
In total, okay. Is there an opportunity, I mean, is there anything different that our vendor would suggest that would allow us to increase participation, or is this kind of the...
Actually, participation has increased. Part of when we sit down with them to go over the survey, we'll be talking about those kinds of things that we can change and get some of their ideas and some of the ideas from some board members in the community from that survey, so we can begin to address those issues.
Because they have no financial incentive to generate a profit, am I correct? Or, in other words, they get paid regardless?
Well, they
Or
do.
am I- I'm asking-
They
it's not
do.
stated, it's a
They do get paid their administrative fee regardless. However, if they want to remain here, they have to have a viable program.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to new business. 1, personnel attachment. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: certificated personnel, support personnel, temporary personnel, extra pay for extra responsibilities, conference workshop attendance. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman?
Aye.
Ms. Casalis?
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus?
Aye.
Ms. Nelson?
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky?
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski?
Aye. Number 2, designation of agent resolution. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves Mr. Craig Thorne, Director of Operations, to act as the designated agent between the School District of Springfield Township and the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency, PEMA, for all matters related to the reimbursement for the Pennsylvania Severe Winter Storm cleanup. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman?
Aye.
Ms. Casalis?
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus?
Aye.
Ms. Nelson?
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky?
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski?
Aye. Number 3, MCIU Internet Services Contract. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the Internet Services Contract between Springfield Township School District and the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Number 23 for the period July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. Attachment TT. Is there a motion? Motion. Is there a second? Second. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman?
Aye.
Ms. Casalis?
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus?
Aye.
Ms. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye.
Dr. Teretusky.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye. Number 4, extended school year ESY enrollment contract, recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the 2016 ESY contract for student 201-60503-01. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Casalis.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye.
Dr. Teretusky.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye. Number 5, Section 125, Flexible Spending Account Plans. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the attached amendment to the reimbursement services agreement between the School District of Springfield Township and WageWorks effective July 1st, 2016, attachment UU. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Casalis.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye.
Dr. Teretusky.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye. Number 6, revised 2015-2016 school calendar. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the attached revised 2015-2016 school calendar, attachment VV. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Any questions or comments?
I just wanted to clarify for the board and also for members of the public who will be listening to this, that the change in the school calendar is because we had built in 2 extra days at the end of the year, and we only used 1 of them. So if you look at the calendar, we were going to be finished on the 21st. We're now going to be finished on the 20th, and we've backed up the half days. So rather than doing the 17th, the 20th, and the 21st as half days, it's now the 16th, 17th, and the 20th.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Casalis.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye.
Dr. Teretusky.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye. Number 7, Microsoft Volume Licensing with IU 13. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the volume licensing amendment contract between Springfield Township School District and the Lancaster County Intermediate Unit Number 13 for the period August 1st, 2016 through July 30th, 2019, attachment WW. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Any questions or comments?
I have a question. Is our contract directly with IU13, or does it go through Montgomery County? Is it a pass-through contract?
IU13 is the vendor, so it's a different IU than the Montgomery County
Right.
IU. And they are a consortium group that gets better pricing on the Microsoft
And
software.
how does that get passed through to us on is it through the old Act 83?
They do the purchasing for us and we pay them.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm just assuming that there wasn't an opportunity to have the same contract with the MCIU, that they don't offer it, in other words, in their consortium.
Mr. King?
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Casalis.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye.
Dr. Teretusky.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye. Number 8, 2016-2017 Sports and Student Accident Insurance. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the purchase of sports and student accident insurance from Axis Capital Insurance Company through American Management Advisors for the 2016-2017 school year at an annual cost of $6,670 for all sports coverage. Attachment XX. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any questions or comments? Mr. King?
Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Casalis. Mr. Lapis.
Aye.
Ms. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky. Ms. Slipinski.
Aye. Now we have public comments on non-agenda items. I have a Kimberly Young signed up. You would come on up to the microphone up here. Is there a chair? Thank you. For the record, if you could just give us your name and your address, please.
Certainly. I'm Kimberly Young, and I live at Glen Circle in Erdenheim, PA.
Thank you.
Okay. The reason why I came to this meeting is because in looking at the school board minutes, I noticed policy 253 about the transgender and gender nonconforming youth. In particular, I was concerned about the school board approving students who term themselves as a boy or female, however it goes, that they are allowed to enter a restroom that may not be necessarily according to what their genitalia is. And I have to just speak freely. I'm noticing here that it has a privacy part, that it says all persons, including students, have a right to privacy. My issue is now I feel like my children's privacy is being violated at this point. I have a child who's going to be entering the middle school, and I still have a student who's in Erdenheim who will probably be going to the middle school as well. I'm very concerned about children who are not of that same gender or who are identifying themselves as that entering a restroom or a locker room. My concern is that if my son is in a bathroom and a female enters the bathroom with him, I have an issue with that, a big issue with that, because I don't want him to feel uncomfortable, let alone the way the facility is. I mean, there's urinals, there's other it's just a big problem for me, and I have issue. I'm taking issue with it. And I need to stand up for my children's privacy, and I need to stand up for their rights. And I wanted to find out, how did this come about? Was it voted on? Did you take any solicitation from students? Did you even get that from any other students? How do they feel about it? I know from a parent how I feel about it, and I had to have this conversation with my 10-year-old and my 11-year-old, not to the full extent, but so that they can be prepared for this. And I needed to bring this up so that everyone understood from my personal standpoint that I'm not comfortable with that at all, not in the least bit.
Well, first of all, Mrs. Young, thank you. We appreciate it, and we know it takes courage to come and speak your mind, so thank you for coming before the board and all of us to let us know exactly what you're feeling. And you're certainly not alone in your concerns. We know that there are many parents out there who have very similar concerns to you, because we're talking about children's privacy, and it's very, very legitimate. I am going to ask Mr. Sultanic, who is our attorney, to talk about some of the legal issues that surround this big issue, because I'm sure you're aware.
Yes.
It is in the news. There will most likely be other school districts following in our path very shortly. And it has become a legal issue of concern for school districts, and which is one of the answers to a lot of the questions that you asked in terms of why are we doing this, why now? I do want to assure you that one of the phrases in the policy that I think is very, very important for people to understand are the words case by case. We don't expect that we're going to be allowing children to be embarrassed or made to feel uncomfortable. We have had students who, without having had a policy before, who consider themselves to be transgender and have transitioned to a different gender than that which they identified at birth. We've had students before in the middle school and at the high school. We have these students now. And I am very pleased to say that we are working with them and their families on a case-by-case basis. They too oftentimes do not feel comfortable going into another bathroom. They feel at risk for comments. They feel at risk for, perhaps someone wanting to fight them. So we are trying to look at all of our facilities. Mr. Thorne, our facilities director, along with Mr. King, have actually begun looking at, can we create a unisex bathroom? So for example, if any child feels uncomfortable, if a student walks in that is not of their birth gender, can the student instead go to a unisex bathroom, or can the transgender student use a unisex? So we are exploring all of those issues. We're very mindful of the fact that we want to protect all students' rights. We don't want any child to feel uncomfortable. And obviously, if there's ever an issue, we want that child to let a teacher or an administrator know that, so that we can work with the family and work with the child and help them through. But we recognize that for certain children, they're going to request more privacy, and it's our obligation to provide that, whether it's through some kind of a curtain in a locker room, whether it's a different bathroom, and we're committed to doing that. Our bathrooms do contain stalls, so there is some element of privacy, but we're very, very conscious, and we've worked very hard so far to take into consideration the rights of all the children who are using the facilities.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Mr. Sultanic, if you don't mind just giving a little bit of background, as Mrs. Young had asked in her question about how has this all come about, and what are our obligations as a school system in terms of supporting the rights of all students?
A few years ago, the Obama administration, in conjunction with the Federal Office for Civil Rights, issued a 46-page guidance and ultimately a directive that has guided school entities throughout the nation as to their obligations towards transgender students. Essentially, all school entities that receive federal financial assistance, which includes the Springfield Township School District, are required to provide accommodations for transgender students in all areas, not just the bathrooms, but in terms of their participation in district programs and the like. And as a result of that, there have been actually a number of cases that have been litigated involving the Federal Office for Civil Rights, which essentially have created this as an obligation. So this is not something that the School District of Springfield Township dreamed up. This is something that has come up as the result of not only being approached by students and families of transgender students, but also because of our legal obligations to do this. And we are very mindful that there are so-called legal rights of the transgender students versus the legal rights of the non-transgender students. But the way the law works, it's essentially those individuals who are in the protected class, in this case, the transgender students, who have rights that trump the rights of other students who may not be in the protected class. So I believe that the law is fairly clear that the policy that the School District of Springfield Township adopted is reflective of the current state of the law in the United States. And if anything, each day that goes on, other school districts are faced with the same issue. In fact, yesterday, on the front page of the, I believe, Tribune Times, which covers Pittsburgh, the school district of the city of Pittsburgh adopted a virtually identical policy to the policy adopted by the School District of Springfield Township. Actually, we just happen to be the first, and everybody is beginning to model their policies after that. But I firmly believe the way the current state of the law exists is that this district is obligated to do that, and if not, we run the risk of not only having individual parents of transgender students elect to bring suit against us, but we also are faced with the potential of the Federal Office for Civil Rights investigating us and finding us responsible to do what we are already doing. I have to credit the school district administration because, frankly, they were ahead of the 8 ball before this issue started to come down. We did a training session in our office a number of months ago, and frankly, the information that we gleaned from our school district of Springfield Township basis enabled us, because we represent many, many school entities in the region, to develop similar issues that were going on in other school districts in the region. So we hear you, we understand your concerns, but in all due respect, I don't know, other than trying to take into account and being sensitive to your request on behalf of your children, the rights of the transgender students ultimately trump the rights of your children.
Can I ask another question? Can you classify what is the protected class? Would that be African-American students? Are they under the protected class?
They're a protected class, but not necessarily for the creation of bathrooms per se, because that isn't the issue. But
Right.
African Americans are protected for other issues
Right.
in the school's place. But the OCR has not addressed specifically the issues with respect to other protected classes, which would not only include African American students, but disabled students
Right.
and other minority students in the organization. Transgender students have particular needs based upon their gender, which impact the use of bathrooms, which I believe is the real issue which is causing the concern among community members and parents.
So how fast are we working on this unisex bathroom? Is that already in the works? Because I know of one that's in the nurse's office that's not the most convenient. So are we in the process of working on that and getting it constructed?
That's a great question, and the answer is yes. Mr. Thorne has already been around looking at the bathrooms, at this point mostly in the middle school and the high school, and we are looking to identify them. We've also been talking about, obviously down the road, future construction involving the high school, a new school building. We're thinking along those lines as well. Before we build, we want to make sure we plan accordingly. So yes, we are. We're working on it and hoping to be able to do something about that very soon.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
So in terms of educating the children, how are we handling that? Are we changing our policy as far as our curriculum? I'm noticing here that there's language here that speaks to the staff that they have to use different pronouns. Is that going to be subjected to our children now? Are the children going to have to learn that? I mean, I'm thinking if it's the school district as a whole, that would apply to Enfield and Erdenheim. That would be very confusing for younger children, as even I'm trying to explain it to my two young ones. So are we looking at that as well? Because it seems we would have to encompass that as well.
That's a great question, and the answer again is yes. I've had those discussions with the building principals about how do we take this information and how do we share it with the students, because we have had other parents like yourself who are concerned about that. What does my child know about this? Is my child going to be surprised to hear something like this? So, for example, Dr. Rittenhouse shared with me that he's meeting with a committee of teachers at the school to actually talk about this. What's our next step? Do we want to do assembly programs? Do we want to address this in homerooms? I know at the middle school we're having those conversations as well. To be honest with you, we have not yet had the conversations at either Enfield at Erdenheim, but we will down the road, because we know this is an elementary issue as well, although we haven't personally had any children or families come to us who are transitioning. We know that day will be coming as well. So your point is very well taken, and we are working on it. It is a work in progress, but we've also thought about all of these considerations that we need to publicize this and make sure our children are aware of what not only their obligations are, but we want them to feel comfortable in terms of dealing with their peers.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Future meeting dates, school board meeting, Tuesday, May 17th, 2016, 7 PM, Freeze Memorial Lobby. Interim board meeting, Tuesday, June 7th, 2016, 7 PM, Freeze Memorial Lobby. And with that, I think we're done. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and have a good night. Motion to adjourn.